Hello, this is Shayla here. I'm here again with another video, and this time we're going to touch on the topic of anxiety. And I know now in these days there's tons of anxiety happening, lots of confliction, and I want to give a little bit of clarity, some symptoms of anxiety, as well as ways to decrease your anxiety, and how anxiety operates and conflicts with your intuition. I feel like that's so important. I want to go ahead with some of the symptoms. I've written down in my notes just some things that I feel correlate with anxiety and can be very relatable and prominent in other people's lives. Let's get started. So the first one I think is the most dominant thing is not being in the present moment. When you're too busy looking towards the future, on the go, gotta do this, gotta do that, anxious energy to want to do things because you're almost not satisfied with what you're doing now, or waiting for the next thing because you're not satisfied. Another reason, just thinking or constantly dwelling upon the past, regrets, what you haven't done, what you did do, and these can lead to things that actually are emotionally triggering for you. One thing is to be aware of these things, acknowledge them, accept them, and then channel it in the direction that it needs to in order for you to release and move forward and look at the whole situation in a different light. Tell yourself a different story that provides meaning and value to you. Another reason is always looking outside of yourself. Always looking for that external validation, seeing what this person says or that person says, seeking answers that are outside of yourself instead of looking within, instead of being in the present moment and going in meditation and listening to yourself, to what you truly desire. That is really important. If you are conflicting with yourself, going back and forth with certain decisions, this is based upon certain expectations, certain things that you think, and that is causing you to not look within, causing you to conflict with yourself because you're not truly just listening. You're thinking, assuming, expecting, things of that nature. One ways to understand if you are having lots of anxiety or every so often is always knowing that you're in your head. There are times when we need to think, there's times where we need to reflect, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to the point that we're almost mentally exhausted, literally thinking of all the kinds of ways to fix something, thinking of all these types of ways to do something and trying to make things work, when really we just need to have patience, take a deep breath, and look at this situation not from a logical point of view, but from a point of view that is at peace with whatever that's going to happen. And so that's really important. Being present in the moment, having patience, and being sure that you're listening to yourself, the intuitive, higher divine self that you are. One of the symptoms as well is always forgetting what you're doing. Have you ever walked around and you went into a room and realized and forgot why you went in there? If you do that quite often, that shows that you weren't in the present moment and you were in your head thinking. Habitual patterns like that lead to you being easily swayed out of the present moment. When you're not present, you will have memory issues. When you walk in a room and you forget what you're doing, or you're doing something, you forget why you're doing it, you're almost living out of purpose. If you're actually in your head, actually thinking of something, reflecting, receiving information from any type of way, then that's a purpose. But if you actually have a purpose to do something and you're not in the present moment to actually be able to accomplish what you need, then there's a certain level of disconnection with your present circumstance, with your present reality. And that's very important to realize. A lot of that pertains to anxiety. One of the physical things that you may do is bite your nails. If you bite your nails, you don't even realize you're biting your nails. Or when you bite your nails, you're actually drifting off into space and just in your head thinking about things. And honestly, you don't even know what you're thinking about. You're just in your head. That's a symptom. And that's okay. I'm gonna wait for this plane to go by. Another symptom is being uncomfortable in your body. When I say that, I mean there are levels of anxiety where it's a little bit more intense on a physical level. You start getting these sweats, your heart starts beating fast, and you feel this level of nervousness. It's what you may call like a panic attack, an anxiety attack, things of that nature. And a lot of times those deal with the trauma. Okay, if there is a physical manifestation and it has your body feeling certain type of ways, there is a level of trauma, and it's definitely necessary to address those things. Ask yourself why you're feeling these things. Ask yourself, what are these feelings? Where do they come from? And really reflect on why it is that your body is reacting in this way towards this circumstance, towards this thought of this even happening. It's definitely good to introspect, meditate on it, and get some clarification, because usually that comes from a trauma. That is a biological reaction to a certain type of feeling that just is like you don't feel safe, you don't feel secure, you don't feel comfortable. A lot of these are honestly root chakra issues, and so I'll go into the ways to decrease anxiety, help alleviate some of these symptoms for you, and here soon in this video. One of the things is you let go of what serves you. A lot of times we may manifest things, we may run into people who are willing to give to us, to serve us, and help us, support us. And in so many ways, we sabotage ourselves from receiving that. We may have certain feelings when certain opportunities come, and you're going back and forth on whether you should and shouldn't, and all these other ideas on whether you're capable of it. Am I physically able to do that? And then also, do I feel confident in myself to have the capability to actually just do that action, to take that effort? When we have levels of anxiety, sometimes we have levels of confliction on whether we should do something based upon our preconceived notions of what we believe ourselves to be and what we believe of our circumstance, of our situations, of our mindset of abundance, and what we have the capability to receive for ourselves. I feel like that's really important in the aspect of just acknowledging those times when it's like, oh, I really need to be comfortable in who I am, because I will allow myself to receive what I deserve, what I know in my heart and in my soul that I deserve. Another aspect is not letting go of what harms you based upon our present circumstance, based upon who we are or what we've experienced. Sometimes we think we deserve certain types of behavior, certain types of people, certain types of situations, because we do feel like we deserve it. It's to our detriment. Every time we have this other voice telling us, no, we can actually do this, or we can actually do that. And we may start conflicting, feeling confused, feeling insecure, not sure what to do. Levels of anxiety can arise. Anxiety also deals with not being patient with ourselves. A lot of times we are in this physical world acting very disconnected, thinking we have to be very proactive and getting things done, when really we need to sit our asses down and listen to ourselves. Because with most of these things that I have explained, through meditation, through grounding, deep breathing, which I will go into a little bit more, we will allow ourselves to actually change our energy, change our frequency, and live more in the present moment. The ways to decrease anxiety. Meditation, as I mentioned. This is the most number one thing that you can do to decrease anxiety. This is literally the practice of detaching your thoughts and creating more space to receive, to trust your intuition and follow your heart, no matter what. Grounding. I say grounding because a lot of these circumstances connect to our root chakra, earth energy, our ability to move in this physical realm. When you utilize and start activating being in the present moment, being okay with where you are, who you are, and feeling safe and secure with whatever you are doing, without having all these thoughts and ideas about what you're not doing, what you are doing, and all this confliction with yourself, you really start balancing, and that's really important too. Deep breathing. Now, I've talked about deep breathing in my previous videos about meditation, so if you don't know too much about deep breathing and the importance of it, please go watch those videos. Those are so great, so important, because it resets your nervous system. and it's one of the fastest way to relax, to get your mind shifting from worrying and having these certain ideas about yourself. Really just being. Drinking herbal teas, great way for you to connect with the elements, water and earth, and then also just allow this connection to infuse into your body with intention and through action. Help create relaxation, a present state of mind. Herb that I suggest is lemon balm. This herb specifically helps to calm the nervous system, calm the body, reduce anxiety. So if you have this, definitely get some lemon balm. You know, you can put some lemon in it. It's good. It's really good. But next, I feel is very powerful as well as affirmations. It really connects with who you are, which is the affirmation I am. I am powerful. I am secure. I am safe. You want to say I am and use your words in present tense. Because usually we're like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You know, we start thinking out of the present and start exhibiting affirmations that are actually pretty negative. So when you actually take the effort to take some time to say to yourself, I am trusting myself, trusting that all my physical needs are met. Not, I am trusting that all my physical needs will be met. They are met. I am present tense. Very important. Last thing that I have is crystals. Crystals that especially ground you, to connect with your earth. We can be a lot in our minds, and of course anxiety can deal with the other chakras in different ways depending on what are you having anxiety about. This is just a general explanation about anxiety and how to connect with you and feel grounded and secure with who you are. Okay, I am energy. So grounding stones, very important. I suggest black obsidian, black tourmaline, onyx, and jet. These are all black crystals. They're very good with connecting with the earth, grounding, and root chakra energy. I'm going to sum up everything that I kind of discussed because it's very important that we understand how anxiety affects us on an everyday basis. Now, whether you have high levels of anxiety or just, you know, every so often low levels of anxiety, it's still good to address when and why. And then also what you can do to help decrease that. Anxiety, you know, it's us conflicting with ourselves, us conflicting with what we expect ourselves to do, what we think we should do, what others think we should do. Sometimes we conflict with that and in different areas of our lives. And a lot of times it can pertain to our solar plexus, our confidence, our personal power, our sacral, which is our ability to create. So, and even, let's say, throat chakra, we have anxiety about our self-expression and what we have to share with the world. So we must understand the levels of anxiety that we have and utilize that to our benefit. Utilize that as a means to grow, as a means to heal. And if you have any more questions about anxiety, please leave them down below, comment down below. You may email me as well. Thank you for watching.